Hello and welcome everybody to another Edge of Eternities Arena Direct Collector Booster Box event. We just won a Collector Booster Box yesterday with one of the best sealed decks that I've ever opened. I literally opened 3 of the 5 or 6 best rares in the entire set. We drew them often and we got an easy box. You know what? I will take another easy box. These things are definitely highly sought after, and I'm excited to hop into another sealed deck and see if we can win another collector booster box of Edge of Eternities. Now, before we hop into the sealed deck, I just wanted to say that this video is brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Go to TCGplayer.com for all your Match the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. Let's say you want to just buy a collector booster box of Edge of Eternities or Final Fantasy or anything else. Check out TCGplayer.com. Make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Also, check out HeavyPlay.com for premium Match the Gathering supplies and accessories. They are the place to go to for deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, life pads, everything you need to make sure you're ready to go for your next tabletop gaming experience. Go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. They're also at basically every Match the Gathering convention. Swing by their booth, tell them Paul sent you for 10% off in person as well. Alrighty, here we go. Let's open some more packs. I opened a lot of rares. Wait, did I really open 14 rares? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? Okay, well, let's take a look. Endstone, Quantum Riddler once again. Let's go. This is one of the best rares in the entire set. Extinguisher Battleship is also incredible. A really good top-ended win condition, along with the Endstone. So we have the late game locked up. We have some lands here. Meteor Crater is not good. Wandering Fumarole can be good if I'm blue-red. Pinnacle Emissary is obviously very nice if you're an artifact deck. What does Burgeoning do? Whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield, so that's not particularly good. Biotech Specialist can be very good. Echoing Deeps is not particularly good. Okay, you know what? I mean, we opened 5 lands, so I know we opened 14 rares, but 5 of them were lands. Mutinous Massacre is a very good card, double black, double red, and Synthesizer Labship can be good if you have a lot of artifacts. But honestly, I'm just excited by the fact that I have 2 really good artifacts in the Endstone and Extinguisher Battleship and a Quantum Riddler. So let's take a look at the rest of what we have here, and maybe we can go back to back. All right, let's take a look at white. We have Starfield Shepherd, which is a premium white uncommon, although white definitely looks very shallow. I mean, I have like 5 or 6 white cards, so honestly, we're probably just not even going to end up in white. So I'm just going to, you know what? I'll keep the removal spells as potential splash options, but I just don't see us playing that. Blue gives us Cryo Shatter. Counterspell's fine. Double Codecracker Hound, premium top-level uncommon, one of the best in the entire set. Very good. Mechanizoa is fine. Specimen Freighter is fine. And Mouth of the Storm, which has proven itself to be also a very good late-game win condition. So as long as I can find some ways to like ramp into my expensive cards or survive, that'll be kind of the primary game plan. Looking into black, we have a couple of Embrace Oblivions, which could work if I have a lot of sacrifice effects, a couple of Depressurizes. We'll note that black isn't particularly deep. There's also one of my favorite uncommons in the set in the Monoist Circuit Feeder, but black definitely feels shallow. Moving into red, we have Plasma Bolt, Double Zookeeper Mechan, Bombard, Kov Landseeker, Orbital Plunge, Territorial Broodstar, and Nebula Dragon. Also, doesn't seem super deep, but some decent cards there. Hopefully, we just get a bunch of good green cards here. Double Gene Pollinator. I do like that. It's amazing just because it also just lets you ramp into the really good top-end stuff. We also have a Larval Scoutlander, which is fantastic. Couple of Blooming Stingers to help us get to the late game. Siege Ship Impact, I think, is a really good main deck card. We have Diplomatic Relations. All right. I mean, I feel like green, I mean, it wasn't absolutely absurd, but it feels like there's enough there. We got some Signpost cards here. Could we go red? The thing is, I really want to play the blue. And Nutrient Block, Meteor Crater Air, choose a color of a permanent you control. So this doesn't actually tap for mana if I don't have any permanents in play, which is really bad. All right. I think this is basically it. There's Godless Shrine 2, which can potentially make the deck. But now let's clean this up and see where we're at after we, sort it out by color. Make it nice and neat. All right. So honestly, it does feel like it's going to be pretty hard to move away from our blue-green base. I mean, if you look at the blue cards here, having access to double Codecracker Hound, an excellent finisher in Mouth of the Storm, one of the best rares in the entire set in Quantum Riddler, a decent removal spell in Cryo Shatter. It's like this alone is probably good enough. So it's, like I said, it's going to be hard to move away from that. Our mana fixing isn't good enough to the point where I can just go full 3 colors. Looking at our black, like I said before, it's simply just not deep enough. And splashing for the circuit feeder is probably not where I want to be. Granted, I do have some really good multicolor cards in black-red. There's the Interceptor Mechan, which is a really good value card. And Mutinous Massacre can be really, really strong if you do have the appropriate mana fixing. Man, there's so many different ways I can build this. I'm not going to play the white most likely, probably not playing the black. I mean, honestly, I could also have enough playables here with a green-red base. And by playing red-green, I do get access to Biotech Specialist, which is one of the better rares in the set. It's a 2-drop that gets you a Lander token. I also get access to 2 copies of Zookeeper Mechan. So this really gives me the most... this just gives me the best setup for a ramp shell, which lets us turbo into the Endstone and Extinguisher Battleship a little bit better. And then, you know, honestly, with some of the Lander stuff that we have, I mean, I can still, it's not easy, but I can still certainly splash like a Mouth of the Storm and, you know, perhaps something like a Quantum Riddler. So there's that. And then the alternative is to just go straight blue-green. Go straight blue-green and play something. The thing is, blue is actually not as deep as it would seem, but it does, like I said, give us Mouth of the Storm, double Codecracker Hound, Quantum Riddler, and a Specimen Freighter. So red does give us the ramp, which is very, very nice. I'm actually like, I think it's going to be one of those two. So why don't we start with, let's start with the blue-green deck and see where that puts us. Alrighty, so this is the blue-green deck, and I will say it actually does not look super exciting. Like, I don't even know if this is a good synthesizer lab ship deck. So if I cut that, like the greenhouse also has proven to be not the most powerful card. So there's that as well. Here's my thing. It's like, how good is my green? Nice thing about the green, because I don't actually have any bombs in green, the thing that puts me into green is the fact that I have Gene Pollinator, but not a bunch of 2-drops here that lets me use the Pollinator to ramp either. So I don't actually know if this is the best configuration here. You know, the other, I do think that wherever we go, we want to end up in, you know, the teamer colors. For example, if I go blue-red, I get access to Pinnacle Emissary, and if I have a bunch of artifacts, maybe that's a direction we can go. That still gives us access to some of the ramp, and I don't even know that we're missing out too much on the green side of things. So that's another direction that I can go with a potential splash. I do have a couple of Lander effects in both the Orbital Plunge and the Kov Landseeker, which then gives us the potential to... you know, I don't know what it is that we would be looking to splash, but, you know, we have an Interceptor Mechan, right? We do have, you know, some Depressurizes or Embrace Oblivion. So it does look like blue-green looks okay, but I just don't know that, like, it also just doesn't have a whole lot of interaction. So I don't know if that's where I want to be. So, you know what? If you look at the red, you have Plasma Bolt, Bombard, a couple of ramp spells, Orbital Plunge. Now, red isn't super deep, but noting that if you also include, you know, the fact that there is these red-green cards, it might put it over the top. So now I actually do want to see. The thing is, I'm probably, like, no matter what, if I'm red-green, I will absolutely look to splash the blue somehow, some way, maybe play 2 islands. So I do feel like that's probably just a better deck overall because I get access to the Biotech Specialist and you know, and 2 Zookeeper Mechans, which I think is really important when you're just trying to ramp into 7 and 8 drops. So let's see what a red-green deck looks like here. Alrighty, now this is a red-green deck. I might be a little bit heavy, actually. I have, what is it? An 8-drop, a 7-drop, 2 7s, and a 6. So this might be going a little bit too hard on the ramp stuff, but This does have a pretty decent curve. Our interaction is looking pretty good. 3, 4, 5 kill spells and some ways to deal some damage to a bunch of creatures as well. And then don't think I care too much about Pinnacle Emissary on the splash. Drix Fate Maker is fine. And then, I mean, something along these lines, right? Like, we're just trying to get a generous shell. Note that this doesn't have a bunch of 3s, and we do have a lot of really expensive cards. I mean, take a look at our curve. It's at 3.8. So this might also just be kind of overdoing it just a little bit. So I might need to cut one of these cards at the top end of the curve. If I guess Nebula Dragon or Specimen Freighter is probably the worst of the options. And given that this is on the splash, like, I guess I can see cutting the Specimen Freighter because you don't want to have too many spacecrafts. But something along these lines looks totally fine, where we do have some interaction here, and we do get to play a lot of our powerful cards. Now, the last configuration that I want to take a look at is a blue-red deck. Not looking, by not playing the green, I do miss out on Double Pollinator and Biotech Specialist and the Larval Scoutlander, which I do think are big losses. But let's see if there's a better controlling shell if I just play blue-red as a color combination. All right, so this is like a blue-red artifact control deck, I think, that we could play. Now, I'm not sure how good a card like the Synthesizer Labship is. I don't have any Self-Craft Mechans. The thing that really... The nice thing about playing the blue-red deck is... because the operator's not even that good, is just the fact that it's a lot easier to play the Quantum Riddler, and I get to play double Codecracker Hound, which is one of the better cards in the entire set. Now, I'm not sure how good this card is on the splash. I mean, maybe I'm still supposed to just play it on the splash, just because it's so good, but this does feel a little bit clunkier. Like, even if I played some other cheap things, it's like I could play some Ilvoy Operators. But I just feel like the Gene Pollinators, Larval Scoutlander, and the Biotech Specialist just do a lot in helping us kind of bridge from the early game to the late game. So it does feel like I want to be a red-green base here and see what I want to do with my mana and how much I want to push it into a full-on 3-color deck. So let's go back to the red-green deck. I'm pretty sure that's what I want to do. All right, so this is 50 cards. We got a lot of things that we need to cut. So let's kind of take this one card at a time. I don't think I have enough synergies here with the nutrient block, so I think that's a pretty easy cut here. Broodguard Elite, I'm going to just start moving things over to the right as far as things that I might want to consider shaving. I mean, especially given how expensive our mana curve is, there's only so much of this top-end stuff we want. I feel like Endstone and Battleship and Mouth of the Storm are among our best late-game win conditions. And, this certainly doesn't feel like a deck where I need the Atmospheric Greenhouse. Unclear that we want Biosynthetic Burst. Cryo Shatter is good interaction, but and I will say that blue is not really a splash. We are just red, green, blue. We are just, especially if I want to try to get the Codecracker Hounds to work. But that would, of course, completely change how we want to build our mana. But I think given that I have the Pollinators and the Mechans, I kind of want to make sure that I have at least 8 green sources and then at least 8 red sources, 7 red sources, something like this. 15, 16, 17, 19. We want at least 2 blue. 15. So this is 18. What's our color situation? Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. But the thing is, I want to play the Quantum Riddler, right? It's just, too good not to play. So, maybe we'll shave another mountain and basically play a configuration that has the most power, but certainly is a little bit more on the inconsistent side with regards to mana. 8 green, 7 red, and 2 blue. Or 3 blue, rather. But also keep in mind with the 3 blue, I have 2 Gene Pollinators, which gives us potentially 5 blue. We have a Larval Scoutlander, which gives us 6 blue even. This gives us a blue, 7 blue. So I feel like all of that combined means that I'm pretty happy playing probably the Codecracker Hounds, just because it's sealed deck, right? Like you just want to grind your opponent out and never run out of things to do. Now, as far as interaction goes, we have the Plasma Bolt, Bombard, Diplomatic Relations, Orbital Plunge, Seed Ship Impact, which is a card I do like in the main deck, so that's 5. And then we have the Extinguisher Battleship and also Nebula Dragon. So that's 7 ways to interact with opposing creatures, which I do think is pretty nice. Now, this doesn't feel like a Biosynthetic Burst deck. I'm like kind of ramping and like all my late game cards are just kind of good. I don't really feel the need to protect them. I don't think I need a Mana Sink card like Broodguard Elite in this deck either. I think I do want to see if I can try to fit the Codecracker Hounds in this deck. Pinnacle Emissary does not seem... I mean, this is just like, I don't care about winning with a bunch of 1/1 tokens. Look at my top end, right? So I just don't think that's a big priority here. I do like all of my spells here. 6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably don't need a Drix Fate Maker here. Kind of like everything that kind of gets me landers. Granted, I actually don't have that many ways to get a bunch of lander tokens in play. I have the Land Seeker, Biotech Specialist, and the Orbital Plunge. Sure. I mean, obviously we're playing all of them here. And like I said, my curve is still pretty high. So I think I need to cut something from the top end of my mana curve. And I feel like Mouth of the Storm is certainly the best of my 7 mana options. I like the value that I get from the Bruntar, and it costs 6. Endstone and Battleship also are quite nice. Which one of these do I want to cut? I think I'm going to cut the Freighter. I could also even cut the Nebula Dragon, just to kind of keep my curve lower. I could do that. Especially because I'm playing 3 colors and I have like 5 seems like a lot, right? Of top end stuff, but maybe it's not. You know what's a crazy consideration? And you guys are gonna say that I'm nuts. I'm on 17 lanes, right? I'm looking at the win rate of cards. And I'm thinking about like playing to the board and figuring out what's good and what's bad, and trying to find ways to close out games, etc., etc. Maybe I want to cut the Endstone. Maybe it's worse than Nebula Dragon as a 7-drop, right? This gives you a giant 4/4 flyer. It helps you stabilize the board. I've decked myself with the Endstone before, right? I don't know if I would just want a card that draws me a bunch of cards when my deck already just doesn't run out of gas. Maybe I just want a big creature to win the game with that also helps crew all my things in the late game. Like, is that nuts? Like, is this card a trap? Like, I don't know. I've been having mixed results with this card. Maybe I don't want it. Maybe I'm going to deck myself. Like, I have a couple of Codecracker Hounds and a Quantum Riddler and a Territorial Bruntar to kind of keep the cards flowing. That feels like it's probably enough. I don't know. It's close. Yeah, like, I think it's going to be Cryo Shatter, and then it's really just... I really think it comes down to like an expensive card. I like the Bruntar just because it costs 6. And I think Mouth of the Storm is actually the best of my 7 mana options. And I think the Battleship is also quite strong. So I think it really now just comes down to Dragon versus the Endstone. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm cutting the Endstone. I want to win the game. I want to close it out with like these large flyers. Having another big creature also helps crew up some of these other cards. I'm not sure if it's correct, but I just feel like the Endstone has burned me in the past, and I think the Nebula Dragon's always going to be very consistently strong. But we'll see how this goes. This is a slightly greedy mana base, but hopefully the Gene Pollinators and some of these other lander cards will get it over the top. But I'm excited about this lit deck. We shall see how this performs. And given that I have double Codecracker Hound, I will play the 2 islands. I also have a Wandering Fumarole, which is quite nice. And also, if I ever get Larval Scoutlander, being able to get 2 islands to basically ensure that I can play the Quantum Riddler also seems nice. So I think this is the mana base to go with. It's not perfect. I would love to have like one more dual land type card, But it is what it is. We'll see how this performs. All right, now before round one starts, just wanted to say that if you've been enjoying this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Big shout out to all the patrons here. Thank you so much for all your support. Access to the Patreon gives you access to my Discord channel, along with monthly videos that I make for the Discord only. Lots of good resources. If you are really interested in upping your limited game, check it out. All right, opponent on the play here, I have Forest Mountain Island. Always nice to have that in the opener with a ramp spell, a Blooming Stinger, Germinating Worm, and we have the late game win condition here in the Extinguisher Battleship. So right now it's just the game of trying to survive to the late game to get this battleship in play. The really cool thing about the battleship too is that it works really nicely with Germinating Worm specifically. The Germinating Worm survives and it immediately stations up the Extinguisher Battleship. So very, very happy with that. Our opponent leading with Swamp. Please don't play Island. Actually, it doesn't really matter. All right, Black-Red, what you got? Terrapact Intimidator. Okay. Do I want to give them landers or do I want to make this a 4-3? Huh. They're on the play. Because they can just like get like a really, really good aggressive start here, and that can be problematic. But I also feel like my late game is just going to be better. I don't know. I think that was kind of close. We'll see where this goes. Here I'll play Blooming Stinger. Next turn I can actually play 2 creatures, which is nice. And I'm hoping that they just don't have a way to kill my Stinger. Weapons, what does this do? Oh wow, they didn't have a land? Oh my goodness, that is huge. That is absolutely gigantic. All right, so now I have the option of playing Larval Scoutlander or 2 creatures here to ramp with. It comes into play tapped. I think I'm just interested in playing 2 more creatures. And pass. If I draw a land next... Oh, wait. I can Seed Ship Impact this. What is happening? Okay. When this leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Oh, they have Embraced Oblivion with the weapons manufacturing. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. Wow. What the... They missed the land drop and played a weapons manufacturing, and I thought I was looking really good. And all of a sudden, this happened. Holy cow. Okay, what do I do? I mean, I feel like I should kill one of these things. I mean, they're so far away from activating this. Let's kill weapons manufacturing. And then let's play Larval Scoutlander. Sack this lander. Get Island Mountain. And pass. So now we have access to 7 mana, so we're very close to playing the battleship. 3 cards in hand for the opponent. Kov Landseeker is the play. If I draw a land, it's just great. Right? If I draw a land here. Okay, we did not draw a land. But we did draw a Mechan, which is basically a mana source, I suppose. I'm at 12 life. So let's play this. Let's cast this. And I'm not going to station this up. I'm just going to keep this in play. But I will station up the Mechan, just because this is never blocking. So we'll keep a 5/5 in play, just because it blocks this board pretty well. Now, if they move the Dominion Bracelet over to the Terrapact Intimidator, I'm just going to let that happen. And take the damage. So they sack the lander, because of course they have to. They could play the removal spell on the worm, which would be kind of annoying. 3 cards in hand for them. All right, we take 9. Nutrient block is the play from the opponent. Alrighty. Let us get the battleship in play. How do I want to do this? That's a land. This is 5, 8, and then I can do that. We can do this. Play this. Destroy. Which one do I want to kill? Do I want to just kill a land? Or do I kill the bracelet? Oh, let's just kill the bracelet. Alright, and then let's station this up. Station this up. Alright, I mean, look. We're at 5 life, but we have a 10-10, a 5-5, and a 3-3 in play. So hopefully this is enough here. And then now, like, would a Nebula Dragon or would a Nebula Dragon or the Endstone be better? I guess at 5 life, the Endstone would be better here. All right, Dauntless Scrapbot is the play from the opponent. Exile my graveyard, sure. They can sack this to gain 3 life, so I actually don't have a lethal attack here necessarily. Oh my gosh, we drew Quantum Riddler. Okay, let's cast that. Okay. Let's draw some cards. We drew Diplomatic Relations. Wow. 18 damage. Certainly attacking here, here. I mean, they're gonna sack the block. I guess I attack here too and just see what happens. The way that I look at this is... They took it all? Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Like, I'm at 5 life, they're at 2, I can block, and I have a Diplomatic Relations here too, so... Alright. Whew! I mean, they got, you know, considering that they stumbled for 1 turn, that Embrace Oblivion turn was really, really big for them. But, I mean, we just simply enacted our game plan of just, like, ramping and playing our top-end cards, and that got us to where we needed to go. Alrighty, on the play here, Forest, Island, Quantum Riddler, Double Mechan, and Blooming Stinger. Hey, look, even though I can't play the Mechans right away, like the fact that I have a way to cycle and the Blooming Stinger means that I should keep this hand. Slag Drill Scrapper is the play. Mountain would be great. Oh, wow. I'm just killing the Scrapper. Let's do that. Land next turn would be great. Hull Carver? Sure, that's not too much offense. Oh, that's a little bit annoying. I mean, I'm just gonna take the damage. Look, it's just like... it's just so... Like, I know I quote-unquote missed the land drop, but I mean, this is getting me a land, so I'm still not falling too far behind, and they're not putting that much pressure on me, so I just think it's really important for me to get a mountain in play, because if I get a mountain in play, then I get to play Mechan and Pollinator, and that means that I get to just, like, kind of play to the board a little bit better here with my mana. I mean, obviously they could have some kind of removal spell here, too. Mountain would be sick. I can just go double Mechan. Oh my gosh. Okay. It was, in fact, very sick. So now this puts me, like, in a position where if I draw a land, I can just play Mouth of the Storm. But they kill one of the Mechans, which is expected. They're playing red-black. It's fine. I have plenty more mana. I get to play the Riddler. I mean, ideally, like, if I can find some way to, like, empty out my hand, that'd be great. Ugh. Look, okay. I mean, they're just playing Rakdos removal, I suppose. The Mono Sentry doesn't do much here. Alright, and I suppose we will do this. Boom. Play Gene Pollinator. Play a Mountain. And that gets it. So next turn I can actually just play the Quantum Riddler. Riddler? Or I can hold off on it to try to see if I can draw multiple cards if we get to that point. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. They're sacking something to Delicacy to trigger Void. Decode Transmissions, sure. I'll take the one. Actually, I could have considered trading there, to be honest. I'm going to hold off on the Riddler. The way that I look at this... Oh, no, I don't have to. What am I saying? I can just cast it. I can play both. Haha. Like, obviously, they have 3 cards in hand, and they could certainly have another way to kill my Riddler, but it seems like they don't, which is obviously fantastic for us. Okay. They have a bunch of mana up. Like, it's weird because I feel like if they had a removal spell, they would have liked to use it there. But it is what it is. We have lots of damage coming in. So that doesn't kill my creature. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And we have a giant 6/6 flyer and a 4/6 flyer, or play Pangolin is fine. And alright, there you have it. Playing our good cards for the win. Playing our good cards for the win. Man, Seed Ship Impact was so huge there, just getting us the land that we needed early. And alright, 2-0. Let's keep this going. Very happy with this deck so far. Admittedly, we've been drawing pretty well with our mana, because I know we're gonna... There's always a chance that we're gonna lose a game due to our mana with this configuration. Alright, we are 2-0. Turn 2 Zookeeper Mechan. We have a Quantum Riddler, which we can't play yet, but, you know, we'll get there eventually. Blue-white from the opponent. Mechan Shieldmate. Okay, I'm not going to use a removal spell on that, so I guess we just chill out here. We drew another forest, so we're kind of drawing 2 our expensive cards here. Any island would be great. Cryogen Relic. Ugh. I mean, do I kill this? I don't know. I think I'm just going to take it. Like, it's a seal deck. How good could it be? You know what I mean? Alright, let's warp this in. Let's warp this in. And attack. Alright, get both of these exiled. Get a little bit of value too, which is not bad. Next turn we can play the worm, and, you know, this sets us up nicely. They have 1,000,000 cards as well. So, you know, it's kind of a resource battle here. It doesn't really matter if they use the relic on the Mechan, just because I can just play the worm next turn. But I get that they're trying to slow down my mana development too. Oh, it looks like they needed a land, I see. Okay. Alright, do they have a counterspell here? Counterspell, I suppose, would be annoying. They sure do. Not much, I mean, you know, not much that we can do there. I think we just play into that every time. Alright, and they have Secluded Starforge, and they're leaving up a bunch of mana. So we're just going to pass here, see what they do. Now, they can't make a Secluded Starforge this turn. 6 cards in hand, by the way. They have to have, like, a sweeper or something, right? They have to. Alright, we'll just kill this now, I guess. Alright. Blooming Stinger. Really want an island or an expensive card. This is not where we want to be. Just gonna get in for some damage here. The thing is, I always have this as an option next turn. Like, being able to go Death Touch creature into Diplomatic Relations is always nice. And this just lets me use a full 7 mana to get in for some damage where I can. Dawn Strike Vanguard. Okay, and this is where we get to do the thing. We get to go Blooming Stinger. So this also has Death Touch. Okay. And we play another Mechan. We have all the mana in the world. Oh, I should not have played the land. I forgot. That's a thing. I mean, that's the thing with this format. Like, I have Territorial Bruntar in my deck. I should not have played the land. Because if I draw and play the Bruntar, I'll be pretty sad. That's a Mouth of the Storm. Really good card. Shrinks everything down. And what did we find? Another Blooming Stinger. Not what we want. Okay, so I can pump this, but that just trades with that, which is not ideal. I guess I just play another Blooming Stinger, and this is kind of where we're at. How do they have so many resources? How do they have 6 cards in hand? Another Mouth of the Storm? Okay. Okay. I mean, this will, of course, happen. There's a Kov Landseeker, which... Wow, why does it want to do that? Oh, I'm just dead, right? Yeah, I'm just dead. Yeah, 2 flyers. I can't play the Riddler. Okay. I mean, that's the power of Mouth of the Storm. Certainly very good. Noting, by the way, if we drew the End Stone that game, we would have lost. Although Nebula Dragon wouldn't have changed much either. But yeah, I mean, that was certainly a game where we just, you know, couldn't find the second blue, which will happen. And you know what I need to draw? Those Codecracker Hounds. Haven't found those at all. Opponent on the play here. We do have a bit of a slow draw, but I should keep. I have the ability to play Quantum Riddler on 2, into Tannic on 3. I should lead with Forest because I have the 2 mana 1/3 guy, which the name escapes me right now. Oh my! Is this how we're gonna? Is this how things are gonna go out? This is. Oh, why didn't I play the blue? Oh my gosh. Okay. Paul. I should have drawn a card there. That was bad. But they just went 1-drop into 2 mana 4/1 Menace creature. This is a disaster. If they have a removal spell here, it's basically just over. This thing has Menace too. I mean, this was their 1/2/3. Oh, that's brutal. I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that I absolutely fumbled the previous turn and didn't draw a card. Yeah, and they have vote out. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this hand is ridiculous. There's a Mouth of the Storm. Which is just not going to be enough. Alright, so let's do this and figure out what I would have drawn here and feel very bad about it. Okay. I guess we would have had that this turn, so it doesn't change things too much. Okay. Alright, we drew the 1/3. Let's see how this goes. And the fact that they like, didn't discard a land, or didn't play a land, means you know they have more action in their hand. Why does this has Menace too? God. So brutal. It feels like they haven't embraced Oblivion or something along those lines. Oh, okay. Consult the star charts. Sure. Does this give us a glimmer of hope? Oh, Extinguisher Battleship. Jeez. I need to draw a Plasma Bolt. Nope. right, they hit land number 4. I mean, we played some stuff on curve. It just wasn't enough necessarily. And you know what? This is just the very nature of sealed deck. Like, you're gonna just sometimes get curved out. Even when you have good top end, you can absolutely lose. And that's what's happening here. Like, my hand wasn't terrible, but they literally went turn 2 Sunset Saboteur on the play with multiple interactive spells and just completely ran us over. And yeah, that's gonna be it here, which is unfortunate, not ideal here. I actually thought we had a really, really solid pool here, and not being able to get it done here is a bit unfortunate. Sadly, just a 2-win event. I actually like this pool a fair amount. We opened a bunch of rares, and this is a bit disappointing. But of course, that'll certainly happen. I'm pretty happy with my build, honestly. I thought this had a nice balance of things to do early with ramp to get to the late game. We had some card draw and interaction, and we just lost to a player that played a couple of Mouth of the Storms, which we didn't have an answer for, and then we lost to a person who curved out. And you know, this format is very unforgiving, right? Like, they curve out, it's very unforgiving. They curve out, and you know, they play their rares, or they play some cards and you don't have answers to them, like, you will just get run over and straight up lose the game. And that is exactly what happened to us in this draft. It's a little unfortunate. I mean, maybe I should just also play the Cryo Shatter. I wasn't super comfortable playing this on the splash. If I did, maybe I'm also cutting Nebula Dragon or something like that, right? Like, that would have been the thing. I never ended up drawing the Nebula Dragon. I don't think the blue-green deck was where I necessarily wanted to be. I liked the Biotech Specialist double Mechan a lot more than playing like a Cryo Shatter and basically like a weak counterspell. So I just feel like this was the build. And like I said, sometimes you have a decent build and it doesn't go your way. And I feel like that was exactly the case in this video. I don't know if there's anything else I could have done differently. Like, we just straight up got run over. None of these cards would have really helped us with that. And then with the Mouth of the Storm, I'm basically playing almost all of my removal outside of this Cryo Shatter. So that's like the only thing that I think, you know, I have an Orbital Plunge and my own Mouth of the Storm to kind of deal with those. And yes, I guess a 6/6 ward creature is something that's difficult for me to beat. But yeah, it's a little bit anticlimactic, but it is what it is. That is the nature of this. I am planning on playing way more of these. And hoping to do better. We are now 1 for 2. You should expect, if you're pretty good, you should expect to win one of these. Like, I probably like once every 4 tries, maybe 5. And so still 1 for 2 is a pretty good finish. And I will come back strong tomorrow and try to put together a better result for tomorrow's video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That is patreon.com/paulcheon. Also, check out TCGplayer.com for all your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. If you want booster boxes of Edge of Eternities or Final Fantasy or anything else, or you wanted some singles for your standard, modern, pioneer, or Commander decks, check out TCGplayer.com. Make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Also, go to HeavyPlay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you want top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmat, sleeves, dice boxes, live pads, and more, go to HeavyPlay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow.